Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Sporting160EN podcast. We're on podcast number 64, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm joined by my two good friends as always. Starting off with Steph, bro. How you doing, bro?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, man. We won today. I'm not going to say it was a terrible game. It was actually a pretty good game. We lost against a team that hasn't lost for 6 games in a row. But there's still room for improvement, and we'll talk about it in more details.
100%. And we're also joined by my good friend Christian as well. Christian, how you doing, man?
I feel kind of bad, man, because I think that all the shit talking that we did of Luis Felipe on the last pod made him get a serious injury. So now I feel kind of bad because he's out. Like we got our wish that he's probably not going to play for a while, but it's just we're gonna have to wait for the severity of the injury. But I'm not gonna lie, I feel kind of at least partly responsible for that.
Don't worry, man. It's not our fault. Though, you know what? We did put that energy out in the universe, so it might be.
Yeah.
So sorry, Luis. Anyways, let's start off with the great Twitter questions from our great followers. Starting off with Joel da Silva at JoelLeon_073. He says, if you can bring back one goalkeeper, one defender, one midfielder, one striker, and one coach, brackets club legends included, who would you choose? That's a fun question. Steph, I'll give that one off to you, dude. Or Christian, sorry, I'll give that one off to you.
Yeah, I think Steph just dropped out. Honestly, he's gonna have to get back in. Oh, he's back in. So that's a great question. Bring back one goalkeeper, one defender, one midfielder, one striker, and one coach. Club legends included. All right, so we're bringing back Ronaldo, obviously.
You got to.
Is this a question for everybody, or?
Yeah.
Here, I'll share the screen now.
Yeah, I would bring in back Andre Cruz as a defender.
I'd bring back Laszlo Bologna as the coach.
Agreed.
I would bring back Jean Mario Figo for midfield.
I'm bringing back Ricardo in that.
That's good.
Or Schmeichel.
I would bring
Ricardo more.
I would bring back Demis.
That's a good, nice. Actually, that's an even better one. I'll steal that one. Demis.
Well, Pedro Teo up top, and we count Ronaldo as a midfielder.
True.
I would love Slimani, Liedson. There's a lot. Costa. There's a lot of choices,
Yeah.
Even for the center backs, I mean, we have the Dutch Volks. Great guy, man. So many good choices.
When you said Dutch, you got me scared. I thought you were gonna say Belarus.
No.
I was scared for a second. Couldn't think of another Dutch.
Even Paul Bint was
Ziegler,
a phenomenal, defender. He had Jordanov. I mean,
Niabi. My brother just whispered Ziegler.
He just got a new deal somewhere. He just moved. I don't know where he moved, but he went somewhere.
Oh, sick. Let me check that out. Sorry.
He just went to Udinese.
Oh, I think he's been there though.
Juskoviak. Remember?
Oh, they just signed him. They just signed him definitively. He was on loan.
Juskoviak.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I don't.
The striker, Andrei Juskoviak. He was great with his left foot, great with his right foot, great with his headers. He was sapint.
True.
So many good choices, man. I mean, better than what we have now.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Balakov.
In 10 years, probably the only player we'll ever mention is Bruno. Anyways, let's go on to the next question from Alkshit Youth at Alkshit Youth. He asks, after that tournament and some other good games from Skoglund, are you also of my opinion that he should be promoted to the U19s? I've never seen him play. Have any of you guys seen the young guy named Skoglund?
Yes, I've seen him. Yeah, he's pretty
So what do you
good.
think of him, Steph?
I think he's pretty good, and I think he should be promoted to the under 19. He's talking about the tournament in Saudi Arabia where we lost the
Where we
final
lost in the final.
against Atletico Madrid 1-0. But they pulled out a great performance. They won, I think, 4 games, out of 5. So he's a good player with a lot of room for improvement. He should be able to actually be promoted to the under 19 without a doubt. I mean, he's in the under 17, so he should be going to the under 19 anytime soon.
Sure. Fair. Cool. Next question comes in from Nasser at N7_DS7. He asks, out of the players we have right now, what would be the perfect squad in your opinion, excluding Bruno Fernandes since he'll probably leave? Also, is there anyone you would remove from our squad? Who would you promote from U23? So a loaded question. But Christian, let's try to tackle this. First, who would you promote from the U23s and remove from our squad?
So I would remove the loan players. I would remove, in a perfect world, probably Doumbia. I think that we can start with the back line. Pretty consensus, I think, of Max, Kawats, Matthew, Risto, Acuna. I mean, I actually did like Borja today, but I'm not going to say he's better than Acuna, So it's actually good to have, some depth at the position, especially if you want to put Acuna in an attacking position. You can feel safe with Borja back there. But we can go with that back line. Do we want to do a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3? Because truthfully, I think that we have not really good enough options for 3 midfielders,
4-4-2, right?
Bruno's gone. Yeah. So I would probably say Battaglia or Braganza in theory as the CDM, and then Wendell as the attacking midfielder. Camacho, Vieto on the wings, and Sporad and I suppose Luis Felipe up top, or Sporad and Pedro Menz up top.
Yeah, fair enough. I would go about the same. And last question comes in from David Claudio at DavidStrife35. What place will we finish at the end of the season? Steph, what do you think, dude?
I think Sporting will finish like I put a funny tweet about that, and
I think I remember it.
Yeah, the one who said, what do you think we'll finish? 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th?
Yeah.
And I said 7th. But let's say let's be optimistic, and I think we'll finish 5th.
5th?
Okay.
That's optimistic.
Yeah, well, because initially I said 7th. So
we're moving up.
Fair enough.
I don't think we have what it takes, because it's not just because we got Sporad that we're gonna play better. I mean, it takes a whole team to play better, and we're not there at all. And if we do sell Bruno Fernandes, we still have this whole week. Hey, maybe we'll get better, because we'll talk about today's game, which I was a bit disappointed with Bruno Fernandes, with his reactions on the pitch. But we'll talk about it. But I think 5th, but I'm hoping for 3rd. I'm hoping for 2nd, of course, because that will give us the Champions League. And we're not the 3rd placed in Liga NOS will not go to the Champions League yet. That's in 2021, 2022. Because I saw somebody on Twitter say, "Hey, the 3rd place will give us the playoffs of the Champions League." No, that's not true. That'll only be in effect in 2021 and 22.
Or 2021. Or is it 21, 22? It's in 2 years? It's not next season?
20, yeah, exactly. 21, 22, yeah. It's not next season.
All right, so we'll be playing. Got a shot to play Champions League, in the next couple years.
The only way we can go to the Champions League, there's two ways. Can you guys tell me which two ways?
Win the Liga Europa.
Yeah, exactly. And finishing second or first. We're not going to finish first, and second, I don't think so too. But you never know. Porto is in fucking shit now, so.
Essa Aliança. We're shit, so they're shit, bro.
Controlled opposition.
What? Exactly.
Well, the other Alliance is doing better.
True.
Braga just won, so yeah.
I say fourth. I think we're gonna finish fourth, maybe fifth. Actually, I think that Braga might finish fourth.
Maybe I'm saying I'm gonna be the optimistic one of the group. I'll say we're finishing third, but it wouldn't shock me if Rio Ave or Braga surpasses us, or Famalicão, obviously. But hopefully Famalicão are now in free fall. So
yeah, they're cooling off.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get off to today's game. We played Maritimo at home with a Sporar debut earlier than expected, but I'll go through the lineup. We had Luis Maximiliano back in net. We had Ristovski, Coates, Luis Neto, and Borja in defense. Acuna was suspended the last game, and so was Mathieu, of course. Then we had Dumbia, Wendell, and Bruno Fernandes in the midfield with Jesse Rodriguez, Rafael Camacho, and Luis Felipe up top. But Luis Felipe went off in the 15th minute, and Sporar came in, making his debut, as I said. And then we also had substitutions of Gonçalo Plata in the 62nd minute for Jesse, and Jovan Cabral coming back to action for Dumbia in the 70th minute. Christian, I'll start it off with you, dude. What were your thoughts on today's game?
Yeah, I thought we were, pretty clearly the better side today. I thought that Maritimo's defense for most of the game was pretty shambolic. I couldn't decide if I thought that the Iranian goalie was good or if he was horrible. Because he was making some saves, but he was also had several calamities. Their goal that they called back, that hits him in the fucking hands, and then he drops it. And he almost dropped Bruno Fernandes' free kick into the goal. Yeah. He was sketchy, but I guess on paper he probably had a shit ton of saves. That's why his rating was pretty high. But he was sketchy, and so was their defense for most of the game. We had a lot of chances to score. It was kind of sloppy in the finishing department, except for the Coates goal. I suppose that was the nicest finish of the night, and maybe the season. It's a shame it didn't count. But yeah, Hesse started. He doesn't run after the ball. He immediately started the game playing like a diagonal ball across the field, out of bounds, pretty much. He seemed like in the first 10 minutes maybe he had something to give today. But he didn't, and obviously ended being subbed off. Has he started and not been subbed off? I don't think he's ever.
I don't think so.
I don't think he's ever started and completed the game.
And to be honest, his starts are so few and far between too.
Yeah, he's
usually off the bench,
and he's never gone more than 60 minutes.
You're talking about reggaeton boy?
Yeah, the reggaetonero.
I thought Bruno was kind of being a dick. He kept shooting from very far out. He did hit the bar in the second half, but he also did have a lot of very nice passes for finishes. He set Ristovski up. He had that chest and then volley. That would have been a nice goal. Put Plata in, who rounded the keeper, and then the goalie made a nice save. He had 5 or 6 great through balls. Sporar was obviously. It was first minutes kind of thrown into it, coming off the shits the last 2 days. Tough place to be. And he didn't really do too much, but he did show, a flash a couple times. Hopefully as he gets more comfortable, we'll see some more from him. But it did appear that Luis Felipe's injury seems kind of serious. He seemed pretty distraught on the bench. So I do think now that there will be more opportunities available for Sporar and Pedro Mendes as well, who wasn't even dressed today. But without without Luis Felipe, there's now only 2 strikers on the roster. And last week, if Luis Felipe got hurt, it literally would have been only Pedro Mendes. So, believe it or not, the Luis Felipe injury could, hopefully end any deals that are going on or negotiations between Reading and Sporting for Pedro Mendes. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad we got the result. Glad Plata came in. I'm glad Jovan came in. I thought they were both exciting and showed some definite, potential, some flashes, some flair. And Borja is the unlikely hero, who I thought had a pretty good game overall. So, I guess not too many complaints about the game, other than we should have won 4-1 probably.
Yeah, fair. And how about you, Steph? What do you think?
Basically, along the lines as Chris was talking about, we came out blazing. The first half was all Sporting. We did pretty good in the first half. Maritimo, they felt the pressure. We applied high pressure and worked out pretty good. And the only thing that was missing, it was goals. Sporad came in. He had one great chance, but he was pressured by the center back of uh, of um, of Maritimo, and he got the shot out, but the goalie, did save it. Um, but he gave me a good feeling, like, wow, he's behaving like a striker looking for the space. And that was an awesome pass by Bruno Fernandes. Um, and then the play that Kouat scored the goal, indeed, they were offside without a doubt. I saw it right away. Didn't have to wait for the VAR. I saw it. So
yeah, you
no,
can see it. You could see it without even the lines.
Yeah.
It should have taken
yeah,
5 seconds to review it.
exactly. But the APAF, they under so much pressure that the VAR, they're making sure they get the right call, because they've been fucking up even with the VAR, to be honest. So they took their time, but everybody could see it was an offside. I didn't want it to be, of course, but it was. Then in the second half, for some reason, we dropped the lines, and Maritim was able to get us in trouble. Even before the first half, like the last 10 minutes, they could have scored. Maxi pulled out a great save inside the box, um, and we went to the first half in a 0-0 result score. So that was pretty good, considering the fact that we could have been down 1-0 if Maxi didn't pull up that save. And then the second half, we fell asleep. Maritim kind of um, got a better control of the ball in midfield, and they start creating some opportunities. Nothing crazy, but some dangerous crosses that Maxi had to get involved. That's what he's there for anyway. But I didn't get why we broke apart in the midfield. And then after the subs, we started playing better. Great goal by Borja. Um, good team effort. Bruno Fernandes, you can see he's frustrated. I don't know if he's frustrated with the team, not producing, not pressing high all the time like they should be. But a lot of times I saw him complaining a lot with his teammates, and sometimes that's not a good thing. Because like Plata, at one point he missed an easy pass to him. He would have been all alone, and he complained so much that even Plata felt like shit. And let's not forget that he's only 18 years old, so he's going to make these mistakes. He's a good kid, full of potential. I don't know. I smell it like he's a short timer, and he's easily getting upset with little things like that, and he shouldn't. He took a lot of um, a lot of shots from outside the box, like Chris said, and some of them were not even close to target. Um, and I found him a little bit selfish at times when he could have been playing as more as a team than taking his own initiative. Of course, I want that from him, but some plays it was like, whoa, the guy on your left was in a bad. You could have passed the ball. He could have maybe scored, and I don't know. I like Bruno Fernandes. I'm not saying I don't like him, but I just find him a little bit like his patience is running out. Let's put it this way. I hope that if he stays, that's a good thing. But if he gets sold, I think we have solutions. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think the team, as a team, will get together and will play more as a team instead of focusing on one player. Well, they'll have to anyway. They'll have no other choice. But to wrap it up, if Bruno Fernandes doesn't get sold, I think maybe Acuna will, or even Wendell, if they show the money that Sporting is asking for. I think Sporting will sell one of those three because they need money. That's it.
Yeah, fair enough. My quick sense on the game, I thought Luis Max had one of his best games so far in a Sporting shirt. It has to be said.
He saved that one goal, the one goal like where the guy got
in the
through and
37th minute or some shit like that, right?
yeah, Netu like half-assed it. The guy was literally right in front of the net. Max made a great save.
Huge save. Among others, I think I can think of maybe 2-3 saves today that kept us in the game. There was only one thing that pissed me off, which was the second half when there was a Maritimo player who got by like 3-4 players, including Max, and then Ristovski had to boot it off the line or some shit like that. That was something weird. Where I don't know why Max went with his feet rather than his hands, but whatever. Aside from that, like I was gonna say, I think Max, has really stepped up. I'm always open to giving the kid some time, but has to also give him some criticism. His last few games, he let in some stupid mistakes, including the Porto game, for example. So I'm glad to see him already evolving in front of us and already pulling up some big saves that helped us win today. And we need to see more Plata and more Jovan. Jovan coming back from an injury, so fair enough. But when he was available, he wasn't getting a lot of burn, especially under Kaiser and even Pizarro. And I'm not too sure if he was healthy by the time Silas was in or not. But anyways, with Plata, my only thing is you see from the kid is his inexperience. You know what I mean? And you only fix inexperience with experience. So we need to give the kid more run. More burn, because the way he placed that Maritimo player on his ass today was a sight to behold. But yeah, aside from that, I liked Sperrar, and yeah, let's go quickly into just some moments on the game. We talked about the first offside. Nothing a lot to talk about either. Anyways, it was a clear offside. But how about the goal that Camacho scored? That was called a foul on Sperrar. Steph, what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that was a foul.
I think they called it for Wendell offside, technically, to be honest. I thought it was the push, and I rewatched it. Now I think it's Wendell offside screening the goalie because he doesn't actually touch it. He is offside. Does he affect the play? I don't know. I don't think so, to be honest. I really don't.
When I was watching it, yeah. Maybe. When I was watching the game on Sport TV, they were saying that it was put out that pushed the center back in the back.
Oh, really? I was watching on the Spanish channel, and they were not sure what it was.
Wendell doesn't even go for the ball.
But he is offside, and he screening the goalie? Is that why he dropped it? Because the Sperrar push that has no effect on the play. I don't think. Right?
No,
how does that affect the play at all?
And to me, I don't think there's much of a push in there, but I might have just not seen the right angle yet. Here I'm watching the Wendell one right now. Oh, that's the goal right now. That's tough. If that's for Wendell, that's pretty stupid because Benfica scored a goal this weekend that was clearly offside, but the player didn't touch it, but he clearly went for the ball. So if we got hard done by Wendell, that's a joke.
No, it was put out because you could see it's put out because they kept on watching that replay. He pushed him in the center back. He did. I mean, you could see both hands pushing him. And they, now there's a VAR. But the funny thing with the VAR is like this: when it's against Sporting, they see everything. When it's specific clubs, they don't see shit. That's what bothers me. I don't mind that. I don't mind that you cancel the goal because I could see it. But then certain clubs they benefit from the VAR and they talk about the intensity of the push.
Yeah.
And I tell myself, what the fuck? When it's my Sporting, we get every fucking call against us. But certain clubes, no, intensidade foi pouca, foi por isso que não foi considerado falta e o gol foi validado. Ah, pá, vai pra puta que pariu. Seriously, that gets me upset because listen, to be totally honest, the best plantel in Portugal, it is Benfica. They have different weapons than we do. I mean, Bruno Lage, they look at their bench and they say, wow, they can have some great substitutions. We look at our bench and it's kind of shady. I mean, it's looking better now with Jovan Cabral coming back and Plata been giving minutes. Camacho now starts, and Sporar now is here, and Pedro Mendes. So it's looking better. I'll give it this much. But we all agreed that Benfica is a better team. Agreed?
Mm-hmm.
But when
I mean, that doesn't mean anything though.
Exactly, but when
they're better than a ninth grade soccer team.
But when they struggle in certain games, what happens? They get the calls that we don't get. Like, they struggle against Aves. They struggle against Guimarães. That's the last 2 games I remember. Maybe, I'm pretty sure there's more. And they got the calls in the Portuguese league because in the Champions League, nada. So, and that's what gets me upset about the VAR. They're not being fair and square across the board. They should make the same call they make against Sporting on the next Benfica game, on the next Porto game, on the next Braga game, on the next Guimarães game. That's the way it should be. If you see it this way against Sporting, then when there's a similar play against team A, B, C, and D, then call it the same way. And that's where the VAR is fucking up in Portugal. And it's not working in Portugal. But it's the only country that's not working because every other country is actually phenomenal.
Though the English kind of hate it. But
the English are doing the offsides like fucking idiots. I mean, we are too. I mean, to be honest, that Vinicius goal that got ruled out for being 4 centimeters offside, I mean, you don't even have a straight line angle at it. That was the first call that went against Benfica all season.
That's probably the first call that's went against Benfica in a long time, too.
They got to sprinkle one in every season to, have some plausible.
Tapar os olhos.
Of course, because they get, one call against them, but they still won, didn't they?
Yeah, they did win, and they also benefited from a controversial call later on, and a PK that went against them that was uncalled, but whatever.
It's like we say in the Portuguese gíria, só para o inglês ver.
Anyways, what was another? I'm trying to think of the other opportunity I wanted to talk about in this game. Let me quickly surf through highlights.
But don't get me wrong, they've been consistent. They've been the better team so far. So Porto's, it's not because I'm not saying that every game they win it's with favors. It's not the case at all. Some games they win because they fucking demolish the defenses. They have a great attack. They do.
No, for sure they do. But like you were saying, they do get the help. Like. Even Chris said it now. They had I forgot about it. They had a penalty that wasn't called towards them. Their second goal is offside. You know what I mean? It's a little shitty. But anyways, yeah. I guess the only other talking point on this game would be Sporar. Steph, you already talked a bit about him and how much he's still. There's a lot of work needed to be done. Obviously, he just joined the team. Apparently, he had some I don't know if it was a stomach flu or some sort of stomach issue.
The shits.
Yeah, the shits. Yeah. Sorry, politically correct. I don't know why. He had the shits before the game. He was probably nervous or something. But Christian, what did you think? What do you think of Sporar?
Yeah, I thought that. To be honest, I thought he was going to be a little bit faster. It'll definitely look a little faster on YouTube. Maybe these Slovakian defenders are slower. But because he had 1 or 2 semi breakaways, didn't really look like he had incredible big breakaway speed. But I mean, it looked better than the guy he came on for speed.
And
And
lost.
yeah, that too. He's the fastest striker we've had in years. And his movement off the ball impressed me. Like you can tell like when they're running towards the ball, like when Sporting's running like on the break, like he's constantly looking for that angle to like slip through. I think his movement off the ball is going to be way better than Luis Felipe's. The second finish he had where he kind of shanked it with his left foot and then wanted a PK, that wasn't great. But the first chance that he had right after coming on, that's a tight angle that you forced the keeper into a save. So I mean, it was a quiet day for him, but definitely, I'm not out on him or anything like that. I'm just, I think hopefully that's just, the beginning of some good stuff, and hopefully he'll, I think he'd be starting going forward. I assume Luis Felipe's going to be out for a little bit. I hope it's not like an ACL or anything like that. I hope it's just a sprain. But you'd have to assume he's probably out for at least a month.
Yeah, true. The way he went off.
Yeah, his knee bent weirdly. You never want to see that.
Yeah, luckily I haven't seen the video as of yet. I kind of missed that part of the game. But yeah, agreed. All right, and I guess the last talking point that we'll go into is a bit outside of the game. Was the spectators the worst attendance? Is it? Am I saying this right? It's the worst attendance in club history.
No, it's the worst attendance in the decade. It is definitely not the worst attendance in club history because we've had Task of the League games that have been lower, but it's the worst league attendance in the last decade, at least.
Jesus. I was seeing now the worst home attendance in just 2 years ago in 2017, 2018 was 38,000. Today we had 12. So I mean, it's very indicative of
it's the worst crowd.
Current period
worst
of
crowd since 2010
of the club. Yeah,
it has a lot to do with the poor leadership that we have now, and people don't want to talk about it, but it's and before we go on with everything else, I just wanted to mention that what a tragic loss with Kobe Bryant and his daughter, and the 7 other passengers on board the helicopter crash. So our condolences from Sporting160EN to their families. I mean, I meant to say it at the beginning of the podcast, but then it just came up. So this guy was a great athlete, but also a great father, great husband, and great human being. And then he'll be missed.
Yeah, for sure. Black Mamba forever.
He's a local guy for me and Steph. He's from Lower Merion, which is just up the road from both of us. So
he was an Eagles fan. Yeah, Eagles fan. Yeah. So tragedy. So guys, don't forget, live your life, have fun. It could happen to any of us, Sure. But going back to our podcast, go on, guys.
Yeah, no, Steph. I was just wondering your thoughts on the poor attendance and how much of our war with the clocks do you think pertains to the low turnout today?
You know what? Let's talk about that. So, but before that, I meant to say that if we could bring back a couple coaches, I would love to see Bob Robinson back. The one we shipped away to Porto. Remember that?
Oh yeah, Robinson.
Bobby Robinson. He was our coach, and he went to Porto, and they won the championship that year.
And he took Jose Mourinho with him too. Don't forget, he met Jose here.
Yeah, and another coach that I'm pretty sure we were not even born, but he was one of the best coaches in our history was Joseph Zasbo. So in the 1937 to 1944, one of the best coaches we ever had. But going back to the attendance, well, that's a reflection of the poor leadership that we have, and this will go on for a while because the Portuguese, they're not forgetful. They remember what Veranda say. They remember what he does. They remember all these promises, and every promise that he broke. And it's a reflection of what's going on in the soccer team, but also it's affecting the modalities. Um, our ladies just lost this weekend 2-0 against Braga for the Portuguese Cup. It starts going down the chain of command. Um, when he doesn't show up to support the ladies, when he doesn't show up to support the modalities because he's afraid of the reaction of the fans. That's why he's not showing up. Because people say, oh, ele nem aparece no pavilhão. He's not going over there because he's afraid he's going to be insulted. So that's why he's not showing up. But if I was, let's say I'm Frederic Varandas today, my number one priority would be to enter a dialogue with the clocks. I agree that the clocks, they shouldn't be allowed to curse at people. Nevertheless, and anybody, you're there to support the team. You're not there to say filha da puta and say mais que. I mean, if you see a play and he misses the goal and you say four, that's one thing. I get that, but strictly pointing a finger at somebody, és filha da puta, não prestas, não vales caralho. That shit has to stop because, like we spoke about, there's females watching the games more and more nowadays. There's a lot of kids, so you're affecting everyone. So the family, the Portuguese families, what they're seeing is, why am I spending my money to go to a stadium in a dangerous environment where my kid could be hit by a fucking uh, a flashlight or forget? I don't want that kind of environment for my kids or for my wife or for my niece or for my little cousin or for my aunt or my mother. So people, they start going away. So that's the number one thing I would do if I was president for the Verandas. I would try to make peace with the clocks. I'm not saying to give them everything for free. I don't agree on that either. But you could certainly give them a discount. Why discount to the clocks? Because they go there every game. They actually put they spend a lot of money in the flags and everything they buy out of their own pocket. If the club was helping them, that's one thing in the past. But for the Verandas, he stopped all that. But you would have to come to a common ground with them and start to make peace with them. If he doesn't go that route, it's going to be a long last 2 years for him. Very long. Because as you can see, without the clocks, today the stadium was empty. Se a Curva Sul estava cheia, como costumava sempre estar cheia, then the stadium looks better. Because the clocks, they call other people to come and see the game. But the disbelief of the Sportinguistas is so big, even the ones that voted for Verandas, they don't want to even bother going to the stadium. They don't want to bother to go to the stadium. The clocks, they're not going to the stadium either. That's even reflects the bancadas speeders even more. And until he doesn't find a way to unify with Portuguese, he's fucked. He's basically fucked. And in the process of all this, our club is fucked. Because when the stadium is full, when you have, I think the average for Bruno Carvalho, and I'm talking about Bruno Carvalho because he was the last president. We could go back and talk about Godinho Lopes and all the other ones. But I remember this one because it's fresh in my mind. It's not because it was Bruno Carvalho. But the average attendance was like, if I'm not mistaken, 42,043 per game on league games. Because Taça da Liga, it's always less. There's no interest.
Yeah, I think you're correct, Steph.
Yeah. So it dropped. To what was today's attendance?
12,000.
Oh,
12,700.
Yeah, that's really bad. We dropped. Wow.
I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna dig for the correct thing. As of right now, there has been no league game since 2009 that has had that low.
Yeah.
To find an attendance lower than that, you'd have to go Taça da Liga and stuff. But I'm talking league games. Like I might have to go back to like the 90s. Like the data might not even exist.
And that's the problem when you shit on the clocks. The clocks it's all together. What would you say? Like 3,000 or more clock members when they get all together,
More. Way
or
more.
more? Okay, way more. There
I'm
it
gonna
is.
say 8,000
Okay,
probably.
so we're talking
What
about
do you
Juventud
think, Danny?
Leonina.
Maybe less. Maybe yeah. How many
Did,
seats is in the Curve of Sul?
uh,
Decent amount.
it's three clocks, no? Juventud,
4.
four. Juventud Leonina, Brigada,
Diretivo.
DT 21 e qual é a quarta?
Obrigada.
Okay, so there it is. So they had a few people. That's it. Everybody else said, "No, I'm not gonna bother anymore," because they've been insulted. They can come in with their fucking cascóis, scarves, T-shirts saying "Juventude Helena, Diretti 21, Obrigada." They basically saying, "That's it, you're done." They have the cops telling them, don't bring this and this and that. But then the other clocks from the other clocks can bring everything. It's very insulting.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the only solution is for President Felipe Fernandes to get together with this posse and say, listen, we need to find a way to get our Sportinguese. I don't even know if he can do it anymore. It might be too late, but it's worth it a
Yeah,
shot.
he's fucked. I mean, I guess you can
Because
always. It's never too late to do the right thing, but he has dug himself a hole.
Big one.
yeah,
I mean, better sooner than later. Then you know what I mean. You should start
Yeah.
now. You should start showing up on TV, on Sporting TV. We have the capability on the Sporting Journal newspaper, and start and start scheduling meetings with the clocks, and talking to them. Listen, this is the president. You don't have to talk to all the members, but each clock has a president. So talk to them and the ones that have the most influence, and get them together and say, listen, let's talk about this. Yes, I will give you a discount, no game box, because they do deserve it. I'm a strong believer that they do deserve it. You know, you need to fix that. You need to fix first the clocks. Once the clocks, they say, okay, so tell us what you want from us. Okay, hey, active mais educação. There's no need for very lights. Only in Portugal you see that shit. But you see the media, they I hate the Portuguese media. They're so fake. You could say they
Did you
pull
see
more.
what they wrote on record that I stashed? Did you see what they
Claro que
wrote?
vi. Claro
Oh
que vi.
my god, man! I have never seen anything that ridiculous in my whole
It's
life.
so they said basically that Sporting what they did in Alvalade, and I agree with them. It was uncalled for, yeah, and it wasn't called for. All the very lights, aquilo foi terrível. You couldn't see at one point. It was dark, smoke all over. I agree. Then Benfica did the same thing in Passo Ferreiras. Que bonito ver a claque do Benfica
no.
festejar daquela maneira. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? That rubbed me the wrong way, and that's again, let's be serious. It's not Benfica's fault of the fans because they're allowing them, and they say, "Hey, that was a good thing." Luis Filipe is doing a better job than Frederico Varandas. Let's be honest. He has a PAF, Federação, Liga in his pocket, and Justiça Portuguesa in his pocket. He can do whatever he wants, and he gets away with it. But why would I say filha da puta do Luis Filipe Vieira? Actually, I'm not. I consider that guy a very smart individual.
He's
I
a
wish
master of his trade.
fucking yeah, bro. And I wish he was our president. He's not. He was once a socio, but he's not our president. But because with this president we have now, we're not going to go anywhere. Forget about it. We're not going to go anywhere. He doesn't have the maliciousness, the wisdom as Luis Felipe Vieira. And he's still behind Pinto Costa, even though Pinto Costa is 2 steps behind because he's getting old. And Salvador is actually better than fucking Frederico Varandas. É muito tirrinho. He doesn't know what to do. It's too much of a big club for him. If he's really a Sportingista, he should ask to quit. He should say, I give up. It's not going to get any better, Danny.
Yeah, agreed. And Christian, what about your quick thoughts on today's attendance and even on what Steph just mentioned as right now with the clocks as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the path that he's chosen to go down, he's too far down it to change course at this point, and I don't think that even if he wanted to, even if changing course was an option for him, I don't think that he would. I there are people you have to make a judgment call. It's like, are they doing this thing that is universally accepted as bad because they think that they're gonna benefit from it because they're just doing it for whatever is politically expedient for them or whatever, or if they actually believe in it. And I think that it's getting to the point now where I think he's drank his own Kool-Aid enough that I think that he actually believes in what he's doing and he believes in his shitty project, which is honestly almost is probably worse than if he, I'm just doing this because I think it's good for me. Because if if the things that he was doing were actually good for him, then he would be experiencing success, and there wouldn't potentially be an AG getting scheduled for his dismissal vote. So I just want this nightmare to be over, and I'm not naive enough to think that we get him out and then we're competing for the title the day after he's gone. It's not going to work like that. But the thing is we can't even really start the process of building up an actual team again until he's gone. Because clearly what he's demonstrated is that he's not able to build a team. His staff that he's assembled is incompetent. And I mean, the last season and the last 3 transfer windows are evidenced. I don't need to see any more. I've seen enough.
Yeah.
I've been convinced. So yeah, it's just shitty, and it'll be interesting to see what happens next. I mean, there's a string of tough games. Obviously, we got back into third tonight, but I mean, then it's Braga at Braga, Portimonense, Rio Ave, then Famalicão. I mean, that's tough run of games right there. Those are some spots. Those are games against teams that are in the 3, 4, 5 spots against us. So by the end of February, we'll have a better idea of what the table is going to look like, because there's a lot of teams playing each other in those fringy European spots, I would call it.
Yeah. And last thing on Varandas, I'll ask both of you, was the Bruno. It's not really about Varandas, but the Bruno Carvalho saying that he'd love to go to be the head of the SAD for free, and that the only compensation Sporting would ever give him is if we won a league title with him at the helm. Steph, what are your thoughts on this? Is this a desperate man? Is this a guy knowing what he's saying? Is this something you would even want? Is this just a waste of time because it's obvious Varandas and his other leadership would definitely not go for this?
Yeah, no, definitely it's not going to happen. It's something that Bruno Carvalho just said out of his heart. He just demonstrating how much he loves the club, but he's not even a socio de Sporting anymore. There's no way he can. He's broken still. He's got a long way to go. If I was Bruno Carvalho, I would just try to fix my personal life first, and then maybe in a couple years from now, do another run. But for the time being, it's way too fresh in everybody's minds. What happened in our shit, and there's a good amount of Portuguese that do blame him for that. And then if you sit down and you cool off, and I've always liked Bruno Carvalho a lot. I became a socio under him. But if you sit down and then you really take a deep breath and you think about it, it was under his administration that it happened. So let's say if he wasn't involved with it, he's still responsible because that was his.
He's permanently associated with it.
Forever.
He's permanently
Exactly.
associated.
Forever.
Yeah.
So that's a tough, speed bump to overcome. if you can ever overcome that. So I don't think he'll ever be the sad president or president Sporting, at least not anytime soon. Maybe later, but I really doubt that. Sportingistas, that's one thing I like about my people is we don't forget things. Even though I love the man, which I did, um, maybe he shouldn't have got involved with Joanna. I think that was his downfall when he got involved with her. Um, he changed. He completely changed. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't have the kind of information, but
Mhm.
he changed from a demeanor that I liked so much, which he controlled his emotions, and he was able to transmit the passion he had for the club. And then towards the end, he lost his cool, and he was just firing all directions. It was like, wow. At one point, he was even helping Benfica with certain of his, flash interviews when the newspaper was talking about Benfica emails and Benfica vouchers. He would come up with a fucking flash interview and he would help them out, taking them out of the spotlight. So, and I remember this clearly. I'm like, what the hell is he
Yeah,
doing?
I remember that
So,
too.
yeah, I don't think he'll ever come back, to tell the truth.
He
Yeah,
definitely won't come back with
agreed.
this administration for
At
sure.
least, at least not
I
anytime soon. Yeah.
I think that yeah, a good 5-10 years need to pass by. The court has to be already handled in court before any sort of, even if it's not for the president, even if it's for fucking Ropeiro, bro. It would need a lot for him to come back. It would need a lot.
Yeah, agreed, agreed. The only thing I hope that happens is the AG, so they can discuss if Varandas could stay or could not stay. But I don't know if they have enough to kick him out because it has to be something like severe to ask for uma destituição. It can't just
Hmm.
be because you don't like him, you know. They have to prove he did something major to the club to kick him out, and I don't think they have enough.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I
Dar
agree.
rumo ao Sporting, you know, movement dar rumo ao Sporting. I don't know if they have enough. I read the whole thing, and I see their point of view, and I agree with them, but they're kind of weak.
Yeah. Um. Anyways, I think we'll leave that there. And Steph, let's just go right into modalidades.
Okay, so let's talk about the modalidades, which we had quite a few interesting games. Handball, we didn't have any handball. We finished sixth place as a national team, which is the best ever for Portugal. The best before that was seventh place. So congrats to the handball national team. In our ladies, we lost at home against Sporting Braga. Just in case you guys didn't know, Sporting Braga used to be a filial to Sporting many moons ago. Their flag was actually green and white,
Mhm.
and then they deviated from that. I don't know why, but they kept the name, so they should give away the name too. Um, because they for
Yeah,
sure don't.
Benfica de Braga, seus filhos da puta.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so no, it's cool. Um,
Sport
so the
Lisboa é também de Braga.
So the ladies lost, but to tell the truth, Braga did play better. They did an amazing job pressuring our team, and they gave us no chance whatsoever. So
Scored in
they
the first minute, right? If I'm not mistaken.
24 seconds.
Jesus.
Yeah, within 24 seconds they were winning, and then another pretty awesome goal by them, and we basically had no reaction. We it was a day off, I think, for Sporting
Hmm.
ladies, because we've been playing pretty good against Benfica. We tied 2-2 for the Cup League against Braga away. We won 3-1 at their home in Primeiro de Maio. So we're still in the title race against Benfica. will be at home. I think the 8th or 9th of February. So we'll see what's going to happen. But then the Initiats, we won 5-2 away at Vitória de Setúbal. Another great performance by our under 15. They're still in first place, so congratulations to them. We spoke about juveniles. We lost the final against Athletic Madrid. We finished second, but what a great performance by our kids. It was the Saudi Leaders Cup. The first game we lost one. We won 1-0 against Virtude de Constanta, and then we won 4-2 against Jink, and then we lost the final. The juniors, we spanked Bulnes. We won 5-1. After the first half, it was pretty tough. It was a 1-1 tie. And then in the second half, we just demolished them and we pulled up a great performance. So the juniors, I don't know if you guys remember, at the beginning of the championship, they were in pretty bad shape. They picked up the slack and now they're in second place, still behind Benfica by 9 points, but that doesn't matter because we moved on to the championship phase, which will be all the teams from the north, side of Portugal, and combined together, and then they'll start. Everyone starts from zero, and they play against each other twice. One game home, one away. So it'll be exciting. Then the sub 20 under 23 again. We took a dump. We lost against um, we lost at home against Cover de Piedad. For God's sake, we can even win against Cover de Piedad. We doomed. We might not even make the playoffs because the first six teams makes the playoffs. So we in danger of not making the playoffs. Can you believe that?
That would be ridiculous.
Oh my goodness, we were up by.
We
10
won
points.
Every game like 10-0 to start the season.
So it has to be something that Lionel Ponce is missing. You need to move. This is kids, and I understand. When you in an academy environment, all these kids, you need to motivate them. So I don't know what the youth under 15 coach is doing, but he's doing a superb job. The under 19, they started really bad, but now they're doing a pretty good job. The under 17, they didn't qualify for the next round. They in the lower bracket, but they went to this tournament and they did pretty good. So the under 23 team, the coach Lionel Ponce, I don't know, either he really sucks, but he needs to come up with something because the excuse of losing Pedro Mendes to the A squad is not good enough. You have good enough players to make a good team to motivate them.
The slide was happening before Pedro Mendes left, like last week.
Agreed. So to me, that's not good enough. They have to do a lot better. So then in futsal, let me see. Onde é que está aqui o resultado desta merda, meu? Okay. Hold on. Give me a second. Futsal, we won. We basically we won. Do you guys remember the score of futsal?
I don't off the top of my head. One sec.
I know we won by a crazy, I think it was like 8-4 or something. So we pretty much, killed them.
It was 12-3.
12-3. That's it. Yeah. Thank you. And then Taça Portugal in ladies, we won 9-1 against Vidais Futsal. Goal ball, we won. We won 13-3 against CA Cultural and 12-2 against Futebol Clube Porto. Okay, in patins, we won. And we are in first place in conjunction with Benfica. We won 5-3 against FC Turquel, the Ribas Aves at home, 8-1. We spanked them. Then and that's it. That's the major. I know the ladies won as well in volleyball, and the guys 3-0, 3-0. So they did pretty good as well. Our basketball team also won the last match. And we're still in first place in the basketball team. Pretty much that's all the major sports that I can put together.
Perfect.
We won 3-0 in volleyball against Club Queiroz, and then the following day 3-0 against Vienna, VC, and then and the ladies won 3-0 against City Ops, and we won 3-0 against Uzbelnitz. That's it.
Perfect. And all right, last thing to cover. The next week we're facing Braga again. This time again in Braga. This time for the league. Christian, quick previews and predictions of this upcoming match on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, Braga is flying high right now. Not going to be an easy game, as we saw. I mean, they kind of gave it to us when we played them, and then they went on and they put in a hell of a performance, and were deserved winners against Porto in the final of the League Cup. So obviously, this is probably Braga's best point of the season because they didn't start off too hot, so they're definitely peaking now, and not a bad time to peak, right around the halfway point. So not exactly the greatest time to catch them, especially on the road. Really, really tough to predict what this game is going to look like because we may or may not have our best player. But I have a strange feeling that we probably will. And also, I'm assuming Sporage is probably going to play from the start, and that's going to be his first real game. I mean, today was the kiddie league compared to that game. So, and he is familiar with them. That is something worth mentioning. He has scored against them twice this season. So hopefully he can add to that tally, and I think that we draw 1-1.
Fair enough. How about you, Steph?
I think Sporting, if Silas doesn't invent some bullshit, will be actually in good shape. We have a Camacho getting better and better each game. The kid is phenomenal as far as as a lateral extremo, and also as a winger, and also he goes back and forth. He doesn't he doesn't think he's just a typical forward that doesn't have to run back. He goes back and helps the defense. So I'm starting to see what we expected from Camacho, and that's good because the more he plays, the more he'll be motivated and his confidence will be higher. Um, then I like the fact that Jovan Cabral is back. That's also a very good news because he has a lot of speed and himself as well. He does help out the defense. I like Sporad, and like Chris said, today was his first game. He was not even supposed to play that much. Um, he just came from a new team to a new team to from a completely different league, more physical our league. Um, and then I believe his league stopped a little while ago, so he didn't play for a couple weeks. They were actually on a preseason
On a winter
mode.
break.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were on a winter break.
in Turkey, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not trying to find excuses for the guy, but if he was indeed sick, and then all the adaptation to a new team, shipmates, team members, not knowing them, their tendencies, how Bruno Fernandes plays, how Wendell plays, it's the commercial plays. It's different. It's a different ball game. So now he's going to have a whole week getting to know them better in practice before Braga. That's a little bit better. You'll adapt to the club a little bit better after 1 week, which is still not enough time. But I like him better. He's more mobile than Luis Felipe. I saw him running back and forth and knowing the defenders, the defense, which I like that. And I saw him looking for the open space, so I like that too. Now I'm a little bit concerned about still, and today he actually was consistent, but Doumbia, I don't know. In big games like that, that's when he fucks up the most. He can turn with his back, uh, you know, with his back to the defense. He sucks at that, and they know, those teams know. When we played against Benfica, Bruno Lage, they told him pressure this guy. Once he gets the ball with his back turned to us, he sucks, and he does. So,
He also
but
sucks when he's facing them forwards, but he definitely sucks more when he's facing them backwards.
today was actually
This
better.
is the best game he's had in weeks.
Yes,
You
yes.
know why? Because
Today,
there's absolutely no pressure on him.
Yeah.
but the number 6 is supposed to be the saving grace for the center backs. That's why
Yeah.
you have a number 6. You're supposed to be a bumper to absorb the impact before it gets to our defense. That's the function of a number 6. And then Luis Net today was the worst player for me in the Sporting team.
We
He
need
was
to talk about why he always he comes his challenges, he comes in recklessly so often.
yes.
So
Yeah.
often. And he
That's
did
how
it
he
again
got the yellow
today.
card.
Comes in elbow on the back of the head. He comes
he'll-
in like a crazy person at least once a game.
Yeah,
Like-
and in the midfield when there's it was not even a dangerous play. I'm like, fuck, what is he doing?
Yeah, I mean if he was a regular starter, he would rack up that 5 yellow card suspension in like 7 weeks, you know.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But
So
hopefully against Braga, we'll have Mathieu back.
if
True,
we
true.
if we have Matthews, Sebastian Coates, Stefan Witkowski, and let's say that we still have Acuna, I would put Borja and I would put Acuna on the
Cunha
left.
at the wing.
Yeah, at the
100%.
wing.
I'm with you. I'm
Yeah.
with you.
I would tell Gizet to go to the fucking bancadas, and he's
Pra
lucky.
puta que o pariu.
And he's lucky because he's still watching the game for free and getting paid. What the fuck? I wish I was Gizet or the kid.
Me
You
too.
know. And then
He's making more money than any of them.
yeah.
Way more
He's
money
making-
than any of
He's
them.
making more money than I'll ever make in my lifetime this year.
Yeah, I would play with Luis Maximiano, Ritowski, Coates, Mathieu, Borja, then Acuna, then Camacho on the other side, then Sporad. I would even Wendell.
This is where it gets
and-
interesting in the
and
middle.
Bruno
Exactly.
Fernandes and Wendell Bruno Fernandes. If Bruno Fernandes still there,
I was gonna say.
yeah. If
Go
Bruno
ahead.
if Bruno Fernandes is not there, then we are seriously in trouble. But I don't. I would even
Wendell, Battaglia, Doumbia. I don't really want to see that too much.
yeah,
That is
and
the
that's what's gonna
nastiest
happen.
thing you've ever said in your life.
And that's
Disgusting.
what's gonna happen. How
I think
about
so too.
Puto, como é que ele chama-se o Rodrigo?
Rodrigo Fernandes.
That-
You Miguel
that-
Luis. What happened to Miguel
Oh.
Luis?
He alive?
Miguel-
This.
Fucking, I don't know, man. I mean,
He played for the U23s a few times. I think he
But-
played this. I don't know about this weekend.
I
But
don't
maybe
know
the
if it's a
weekend
lack
prior.
of motivation, but he lost his step.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if we sell Bruno Fernandes, we might be. But that's the thing. If we wait until the last day of the market, we're not going to
Won't be
have
able to
time to
replace
play a midfielder.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's what sucks about this. I mean, and then we shit out of luck because Chris just said it all. It'll be Wendell, Doumbia, and Battaglia. Holy shit, that's not good.
You can't even. Who's on the bench then? Rodrigo Fernandes? I'd rather see him.
Yes.
Miguel Luis. I mean,
Miguel
unless
Luis,
we really
Rodrigo
start
Fernandes,
calling up some U23 players like
that's our
Thiago
only
Silva,
salvation.
Matheus Nunes.
Maybe they will down the road, but they definitely won't for this game.
I
We
mean,
have this game.
Silas and Kaiser have both so far shown that they want youngsters in their training squads, right? So, like, if they're good enough to practice and you're constantly practicing them, you got to start bleeding them in. Now, I don't say you throw them into a Braga game, but I mean, this should have been work done prior, just in case this event shows up. Because if we don't have Bruno Fernandes against on Sunday, then Steph saying he was optimistic and will probably finish fifth is probably more likely than me ever wanting us finishing third. You know what I mean? Without Bruno Fernandes, the second half of the season is going to be tougher than the first.
I think so because we have a lot of tough games away.
Yeah, all of
I mean,
them. We have
Chris
Guimarães
just
away.
mentioned
We have
them.
Benfica, Porto. We're about to play Braga. We played everybody at home already.
I'm so I don't know what to say, man. To tell the truth, it scares the shit out of me when I think about when we have to where we have to play. Of course, you have to take it day by day, game by game, and you shouldn't think that far ahead. But you kind of have to, I don't
Yeah.
know, bro. We in real trouble, and if Bruno Fernandes gets sold, I mean, who do we have? Let me see. We have Bernard Souza.
Gerald might come back.
True. The rumor is if we sell Fernandes, Gerald stays. But if we don't sell Fernandes, he's gonna go on loan to Belenenses Saab. So
But that's the problem.
Jesus Christ. That's
Gerald,
worse than death.
Gerald hasn't played in months though.
and that and plus defensively, he's not that great.
He's not going to do shit here.
We have Mateus Nunes,
unfortunately.
like you said before, Nuno Moreira,
Mhm.
Dimitar Mitrovski, Tomas Silva, you Bruno
Yeah.
Paz, but he just came back with Bruno Paz. And
But I would love to see Bruno Paz back though.
But that's
I agree,
the six
yeah.
we have in our under 23. So I don't know.
I forgot. We forgot
like
somebody,
to see him.
boys. We forgot Eduardo Henrique.
Oh my fucking god.
I don't even count on him. That's why I didn't even mention his name.
we really shouldn't.
we should send him back to fucking Belenenses.
The fucking refund, man. They paid like $3.5 million for that.
In the fourth division, that's where you should be playing.
I thought he was coming to replace Doumbia, or at least to be his backup as a number 6.
I don't think they knew his position when they signed him.
Okay.
Yeah, me neither.
Because if you look at our wingers, we have a lot of options now. If he's gonna go with Jovan Cabral, Camacho, and Plata, we have a lot of options.
We still have Balassi, Vietu.
I don't count on Balassi and Vietu. Vietu, yes, of course.
Vietu, yeah.
Yeah, of course. But Balassi, he's too clumsy. He just got a red card because he can't even fucking stop when he has to. I mean, I know you guys like him.
Fair. No, for sure. No. But my thing is I'm only counting him because Silas Silas plays him a lot. If Silas didn't play him a lot, then I mean that's fine by me. Like we have young wingers to play, So
I would give him the benefit of the doubt if he scored goals or assists. But he's not scoring goals, no assists. When he tries to dribble, he's too clumsy. He loses the ball a lot. Tem muita garra. I hear that a lot. Eu também tenho muita garra. Vou para lá eu, caralho. But I don't want the player to ter muita garra. I want that too, of course, but I want results. Yeah. And I haven't seen that from Balassi. Gisette, Paris Saint-Germain, they don't even want him back.
Yeah.
They said, no, you keep him until June.
He's under contract there for another year. They're going to have to pay him €7 million next season, too, and find another sucker to loan him out to.
Don't worry. If Varenda's is president, he'll buy him. Don't you worry, bro.
Coitado do Varendas. He doesn't even come out in public anymore.
Bro, he's in China right now, bro. He's trying to solve the coronavirus, bro.
Coronavirus.
The humanitarian and a man of the people.
My neighbor, he's like, he came to me and he's like, hey, have you heard about the coronavirus? I said, yeah, I heard about it. It's like pretty bad. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I stopped drinking Corona. I'm like, I don't think it's related to that, bro. Yeah, but we are in bad shape against Braga. I'm going to say 1-1 as well. Or 2-2. It's going to be a tie.
2-2? Yeah, I'll go with that too. I'll say
that'd
2-2.
be a good result for us this Saturday.
I'm here for 2-2 or 1-1. Yeah, I'm fine with a tie. All right, boys. That's podcast number 64. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We really appreciate it. Keep following us on Twitter. That's Sporting160_EN. And yeah, viva Sporting, guys.
Viva.